Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Dolls of Horror podcast. I have a very special guest with me. Today, I have Larry Cedar. Welcome, Larry. I'm so excited to have you here. I've been watching you since I was a little bitty baby.
Well, in like a kid, Square One or something, when I was a kid in the kid show.
No,
Oh,
uh, I've been obsessed with horror films since I
oh,
was 8 years old.
isn't that funny?
And
Isn't that
so the
funny?
first time I was aware of you, I think I was 9 or 10. It was Demonic Toys.
Yeah, God, yeah, that's. I'm shaking my head not just because it was a long time ago, because that was such a strange experience.
Was it really?
I
All
still
right.
remember. Yeah,
So we'll definitely get into that one for
yeah,
sure.
absolutely,
Be-
absolutely.
because Charles Band movies and Kevin Tenney movies were the
Yep.
movies that made me fall in love with doll movies,
Wow,
which inspired the name of the show, honestly.
I got
So
you. I got
so
you.
that was a big influence on my early horror journey. But before we start with that, let's start with you. Let's talk about your acting journey. How did this begin for you?
Well, I was accepted to law school out of college, even though I didn't really want to be a lawyer, but I didn't know what else to do. The acting career had been pretty much forbidden by my family, by my father. He just thought it was a terrible way to live a life and to make a living. And my uncle was an actor and was always struggling, and he would point to him and say, "You want to starve like him?" So he said, "You can apply to any grad school you want, any program, but you may not study acting. That's not going to be your career. If you do, it's going to be on your own." So on the sly, I applied for graduate school in acting because I'd done a play with the professor UCLA, saw me in it, and he said, "You should be acting." And I said, "Yeah, I'm going to law school." He says, "Well, come apply for our program." And then I got in. And the minute I got in, thanks to this guy, Gary Gardner, he turned my life around. The minute I got in, like a light bulb went off in my head, and I said, "That's what I'm supposed to be doing. That's what I'm supposed to be doing," because I'd done enough theater to know that I loved it, but I wasn't giving myself permission. But once I had kind of a route, which was grad school,
Mhm.
I said, "I'm doing it." And I went and I told my dad, and he was upset, but he said, "It's your choice. You're going to pay it for it yourself." And I said, "That's fine. I got to do this." And the minute I started, I felt like I died and gone to heaven. I was so happy because it was what I was supposed to be doing. And that's been it. That was 1976. And did grad school, did a lot of plays, got out, started doing commercials, TV, film, whatever, theater. Haven't looked back. Haven't gotten tired of it yet. I still really love it.
Well, every job, unless I guess it's a show, is always different, right?
Absolutely.
So there's always
Absolutely.
a change. I was working in a law firm recently,
Mm-hmm.
and second worst job I've ever had in my entire life.
Yep.
Oh, soul crushing
Yeah, I
environment.
worked at an attorney's as a word processor for a while, and I saw the same exact thing. They would all go. They couldn't wait to go out drinking after work because it was just soul crushing. Exactly.
Right.
So,
For me, I just couldn't wait to go home and go to bed.
yeah.
That's all I could do. And I can't with you. It was 5 years, and I was like, and they let me go because I couldn't keep up with the workload. And
Yeah.
I'm no quitter. I would have died there. I would have gone completely crazy. I was so sick from the stress. So they did me a favor,
Yeah.
but because I'm no
Yeah.
quitter, damn it.
No, but if it's right, it's right, and if it's wrong, it's wrong. Now, there are some people for whom being an attorney is a dream come true. God
Right.
bless them. I mean, it's like it's just a matter of if you're lucky enough to get to do what you love, it's such a joy. If you're unfortunate to have to do something that's really hard that you don't love, it's very painful.
A
You
lot
know.
of the attorneys I talked to, especially the younger ones, they said to me, they said, I really wish I chose a job over a career.
Well,
And it was
yeah.
like, yeah. But I noticed a lot of actors, some have gone into law and are
Uh huh.
good at it because
Yeah.
it is a form of performance, really.
Absolutely, and that
Right.
appealed to me. I used to think about that. That was the one thing I said. Well, if I could do trial law, that appealed to me. And yeah, I think that could be really fascinating. You know, but look, the price we pay for getting to do what we love is the uncertainty of this career. That's the trade-off. You know, you understand as well as I do. There's just no guarantees. There's no set path. You make it up as you go, and it's a high risk profession. But the joy of getting to do it when you get to do it makes up for it by far.
So, we started talking about this earlier. Let's talk demonic toys. Let's jump right into the horror stuff because your resume is a mile long. But let's start talking the spooky shit.
Well, I do love horror films, and I do love doing them. I won't say I have an affinity for it any more than any other kind of jobs I have. I do a variety of different kinds of work, but there's something really fun about that stuff. A lot of it I've done has been low budget, which is a different experience than a high budget horror film in various ways. But I still have a good time. If you get into the spirit of the project, it can be really fun. Now, the interesting thing about Charles Band projects, I always say, if it was in focus, that take is good. There's never going to be a second take. And they rip through those things. I don't know how many pages a day they do, but they just rip through that stuff. Now, and that can be frustrating, but it's also kind of liberating because, we're just going to go, 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 go. Yeah. And, I don't think much about script quality, or I'm not one of those people that shows up and goes, I'd like to change this scene, or I show up and I look around the other actors. I say, let's have some fun. Let's just make some magic. And you can do that at all levels. It can be down and dirty, or it can be high end. I find people will say, which do you prefer here or there? Well, I like good material, but I'm also fine with doing stuff that's just like, let's just get this done somehow. We got no money. Let's just get this done. The only thing I don't like is when the people I'm working with are just not good people. And that's pretty rare. Pretty much everyone who works in this business feels pretty lucky to be working in this business.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
So tell me about, you said that was an interesting shoot. What do you mean?
Well, Demonic Toys in particular, I think I ran a hot fast food restaurant or something.
Yeah.
And I was always getting down on the lead guy because he wasn't serving the fries fast enough or something. I can't remember.
I made a meme of it once of your lines. Actually, two. And one was I'll have to find it for you. I posted it like 6
I think I saw it.
I tagged you. And one of it was like, I don't like your attitude. And he's like, that makes two of us or something.
Yeah.
I tagged you in that 6 years ago. I
remember. Thank you for doing that. I do remember that. I just remember the grease in this place was just, no one ever cleaned this fast food restaurant. It was, I don't know how it got past the health inspectors. So I remember the smell, I remember the grease, but then I remember thinking as an actor, well, this kind of feeds my character. I'm feeling into this. The most, to me, frustrating sets are when where they're sanitized and everything's too clean and everything's this, and it's hard to get into the scene, the location. Whereas something like this, you step in and you feel like the manager of a crappy fast food restaurant.
Right.
And the young actor, I can't remember his name offhand, was wonderful. Yeah, we had a great time just playing off each other. And I remember the director was, as usual on these things, in a big hurry to get the shots. We had no time, no money. Yeah. And I don't have bad memories of it. I think I had some fun. And then the other one I did, which was Ginger
Dead
Man. Yeah. Same thing. I was just like, you get down there and you go, is they really making a movie? What's going on? And, it's like, and you shoot, and they had like one of those umbrella lights, and they didn't have lights. They just hold the light up. So there was just enough light on you so they could shoot. Yeah. And then you did one take and you were done, you moved on. And it wasn't bad. I kind of had a good time, because it's like guerrilla filmmaking,
Well, the 80s and the 90s for Full Moon and the Charles Band movies were really, and early 2000s too, were really, really special, really specific.
Yeah.
Really good, honestly. For low budget movies, they were good and fun and entertaining and had good practical effects most of the time. And now, obviously he's still pumping them out like crazy, but they're just so polished and clean and digital, and it's not the same anymore. It's just
there's something about practical effects, like when you have the Ginger Dead Man and it's some like cheap old puppet some guy's operating. It's just kind of cool. Have you ever looked at his IMDb? You have that, obviously, because you said hundreds. Seen how many movies he has credits? Is it 1,000 yet? It's over 1,000.
Charlie Band?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I'm not sure. Yeah, but I mean, it's
something like that. But he told me what they would do is, I'm going to look it up. What he would do is they'd make a poster for the movie. They'd come up with a concept and they'd make a poster and then they'd ship it over to Asia or whatever. And they'd say, here's the film we want to make. And they'd say, okay, we'll give you what? $100,000, $200,000, something like that. He would make the poster first and then say, now we'll go write the script and make the movie. And here he goes. Let me see. I'll tell you right now.
That was like a storyboard.
Yeah. And so it was, okay. So he's got 10 projects in development.
Yeah.
2 films in production. Past film and video, 462 titles. 462. I mean, I think he would make like 3 or 4 a year. So it was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be seeing him next week actually at a convention.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Well,
But
tell him hi.
I will. Again, I love my doll movies. One of the things I collect is doll replicas, and my Puppet
Okay.
Master series is pretty much complete.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And
Well, what you
I did bring out my baby Oopsie for the occasion.
Oh, there you go. I love her. What do you think of this new this Megan stuff? Are you enjoying those?
I enjoy it. Well, I'm also a dancer, so the fact they cast for the body of Megan a real little talented little dancer with how she
Oh,
moves, you can't fake that.
wow.
And so I really, really enjoyed it. And it's a fun movie. It's a well-made movie. It's a PG-13 movie, so it doesn't have all the gore that we would like.
Oh,
But it's still a quality movie, and it's a cautionary tale about robots and AI, as we've been telling people for decades.
now that reminded me of something. Oh yeah, there was that other film recently came out about there's a little girl lives in a house and they try to kidnap her and turns out she's a vampire.
And something with an A, not Annabelle.
Something, I think it might have been Annabelle.
No, Annabelle's the doll movie.
Oh,
It's a Abigail.
that's it. That's it. I wondered if you liked that.
I only saw half of it because then I got
Yeah.
busy and I kind of abandoned it and never picked it back up. But again, that was good. It was cute. It was fun. It was fun.
Now, I'm in the middle of watching a film which I haven't decided if I want to finish yet because suddenly it became very, very predictable. It was really cool. It's on is it Netflix or Apple Plus? I can't remember. It's called The Gorge. Have you heard of The Gorge?
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you the story. There's a gorge somewhere in the world, and they never tell these guys who work there where it's at. But once a year, they send a replacement to replace the guy. There's 2 towers on each side of the gorge. One's run by the Soviets or the Russian. The others are run by the West. And their job is to keep whatever's down in the gorge from coming up and getting out. And there's a story goes, they sent like 2,400 soldiers down there back during World War I to kill these things, and then none of them came back alive. So there's something down there.
Yeah.
And their job is to keep them, if they start to come up, I think you'd like it. But it just it started out real interesting, and then it got super conventional. So I'll probably finish it. But there's some great creatures in there, really horrible creatures.
I love some creatures.
Oh, yeah, you'll see. The Gorge.
The Gorge. I will make a note of that. I also, one of my biggest collections is DVDs, physical media. It's kind of a problem. I mean, not only do I have a 6-foot-tall shelf full of it, I got Sterlite boxes under my bed full of it. I got some stuff in storage.
Wow.
I mean, for my whole life, basically.
You're a genuine movie fan. You really appreciate it. It's great.
Shows. I got DVDs of shows, sitcoms, because, well, back in the day we didn't have streaming, but now we have streaming, and then they take it away and you can't see it again. But
Yep.
I will always be able to pull out my little DVD, which I happened to do recently for Pinocchio's Revenge.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Can we talk about Pinocchio's Revenge? A Kevin
Absolutely.
Tenney movie. I love me some Kevin Tenney too.
That guy is one of the nicest people in the world. He is so nice. When I was doing that film, I remember it wasn't like I was new to the business, but I was still, insecure. And the crew would sit over here at lunch and the actors would sit over here. And I was always afraid to talk to anybody. And he came over the first day and plopped himself right down next to me and said, "How you doing? What's going on?" We talked, and I've spoken to him since. He's a great guy. I'm trying to remember, there was an actress in that film, also very nice, who had a career for a while, a big career, just working low budget stuff. Let me see if I can find her name. She was great too. Again, I remember these things by the people. Me, it's always what was the experience like? And I remember just liking everybody and having a good time. I think I had kind of long hair then too. I think I played an attorney and
district attorney.
That's right. And what's her name? She was great. She played the lead.
Was she your lead?
Oh, I'm looking here. I see a friend of mine was in it. I didn't even know it because he shot a different day.
Right.
Sal Viscuso, another friend of mine was in. Oh my God. This is why I love IMDb.
You gotta watch your own movies. I know it sucks, but the parts that you're not in are going to be great for you. I can't watch myself. I hate it.
Yeah, no. It's great. It's great. And I'm a big fan of the trivia. A lot of these movies, I like seeing if there's any interesting details about what happened and so forth. But I remember the courtroom scene. Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you that's what I remember about that. For a long time, I don't know if they're still using it. There's an old courtroom downtown, or a set that's been made to be filmed as a courtroom. And every time you got like some low budget film with a courtroom, you'd be going down to that set. And we
Mhm.
shot most of the courtroom scenes there. That's all I remember about was the courtroom. But I
Well,
had a good time.
I think that
Yeah.
was your only scene, so
Yeah. Oh, so there you
that
go.
would make sense. That would make sense,
There
right?
you go. That's it. That's it.
You also did the Twilight Zone movie.
Yep. That I
Yeah.
love. That
Yeah,
was
let's
great.
let's talk about your experiences on that, working under that crazy makeup and that crazy suit.
Yeah. So, as with most of these things, you never really know what you're getting yourself into. You audition, you want the job, you want the work, but I had no idea what I was getting myself into. And what I got myself into was a full body latex suit. There was no makeup applied to my skin. It was a hood with a
Really?
mechanism, and it was all practical back then. So they had wires that would make the eyes move and the eyes open and the jaw. So everything you saw, expressions you saw in that monster were operated from Craig Reardon, the guy who made it, behind me during the shot. So it was very cumbersome. When it got wet, it was like wearing a giant sponge. It was freezing cold, but I was young. I didn't care. I was so excited. And after the first day, the thing was just like weighed a ton and took a really long time to get into. But once we started rolling, again, had a blast. I mean, how can you be more excited than working with George Miller and John Lithgow? It was an honor. And I still remember it when I see it. I still remember what it was like to shoot it. And it was thrilling, just a thrilling experience. And I like playing the bad guy, and I like being a scary guy. I love that, especially when it's well done. And they happen to do this really, really well. Now, I don't know if you know, but right before we shot that, Vic Morrow had been killed very shortly before we shot. They almost pulled the plug on the movie. And some people say they should have out of respect, but they shot it. So they were very, very frightened about any more injuries or anything. And I was suspended on a wire above the wing. So they was very, very scared that something might happen. But fortunately, nothing did. And yeah, we had a great time. Great time.
What was your audition like for a role like that?
I'll tell you exactly. I remember it like it was yesterday. I went into the room. The casting director was, I know her.
Mhm.
She's a friend of my wife's. I should remember this.
It was
Marcy Leroff.
40 years ago.
That's okay. Marcy Leroff and George Miller was there, and she was there, and it was a big studio rehearsal room, and they had set up about 8 folding tables, like lengthwise this way and then this way. And they said, just go crazy on the tables, like you're terrorizing somebody. Just run across the tables, all this stuff. So I did. I almost knocked the table over, and again, they were very nervous, but I kind of went for it. At the time, I was a dancer, so I was comfortable doing it, and I put myself into it, and that was it. Next thing I know, I'm being fitted for the suit, full body cast, head and body, so they can make the suit. And we had some tests. What do they call it? Screen tests.
Mm-hmm.
They brought me onto the stage to do some stuff so they could send it to Steven, who was approving everything, Steven Spielberg. And it was interesting because the suit, when they first made it, was just a latex, so it was completely white. I looked like just like an albino lizard. And then after it was approved, then they painted it. And the whole thing is hand painted. That's why I say practical effects are so impressive. Like The Thing, the one they did with Russell that was all practical effects.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at it, how do they do that? It was very intensive, labor intensive. Now everything's CGI,
Yeah.
There's a lot of stories from it, but that's just some of it,
We keep talking about practical effects because that is the real magic of a horror film or a film in general. And I was hosting an interview at a convention a few months ago with some of the Hellraiser cast.
Oh.
And I
Yeah.
mean, I've hosted so many interviews with them, but this one was with the guy that played Skinless Frank. Have you seen Hellraiser?
Isn't Hellraiser with all the needles?
Yeah.
Is that guy? Yeah, I remember that. I don't think I've ever seen the whole film. So
yeah,
no.
so there was you got to. It's so delicious.
Yeah.
There's a guy that he's skinless and he's all gooey and shit, right? And then there was like the human version of him, the handsome human version of him, right? And the human version, he was talking about why we love practical effects, and he read a study, like the scientific study on our brains know that we're being tricked with CGI.
Yep.
And while we're watching Jaws and that shark is schlocky and looks clearly fake, we're completely into it.
Yep.
Now,
I just saw
we're being tricked.
Yeah, exactly. I just saw, you're going to think this is terrible, but I walked out of Superman. I hadn't seen a superhero flick in a long time,
Uh-huh.
but I went to see it because I heard it was good and I was excited. And I walked out because I found there was so much CGI and it was
Yeah.
incredible. And I was so bored. I was just so bored. None of it was affecting me at all. And I was there with my wife, and I looked at her. I said, "Do you like this?" She goes, I'm bored as hell. I go, "Me too." I said, "Should we leave?" She goes, "Yeah, we'd already given it 45 minutes."
Yeah.
That wasn't the only problem with it. I thought his character was not like the Superman I wanted to see. But yeah, CGI. I mean, I don't know how they do it. It's astounding, but it leaves me cold.
And it also doesn't age well. Right? I mean, we covered a movie, another part of the podcast says pick a movie and review it, and we break it down by like favorite kill, epic line, yeah. We have a best hair moment too, and a fashion moment, but then we get into practical special effects and the cinematography, and we'll look at the person who does it, and we'll break down their credits and all that stuff. It's a whole deep
Wow,
dive. It's a 2-hour deep dive on a movie, right?
fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, and we did a Hollow Man a few years ago.
Okay.
And that was up for Academy Award for effects.
Yeah.
And in 2022, we're like, this movie for effects, this one right here,
Yeah.
because it was all CGI. But
Yeah.
in the year 2000, I guess it was groundbreaking, but it doesn't
Yep.
age well at all, sir.
Well, can you imagine what it's going to be in another 10 years? I mean,
Oh,
I can't even imagine. I just you reminded me of something. The creatures that are in the gorge, they call them hollow men. Isn't that funny?
oh, really?
They call them hollow men. I just
Oh, very
remembered that.
cool.
Now, the other thing I wanted to mention is I've been friends with a couple of guys that did a lot of special effects work. One of them was Armin Shimmerman from Deep Space Nine, I think it was. And he would talk about being in that chair from 5 in the morning till 9 or 10 till he was Quark, I think Quark or something. And it was just like this psychologically to deal with that was just really something. And then you think about the guy that played Freddy Krueger,
Yeah.
what he went through. So, and the worst one I ever did was, it was a Keanu Reeves film.
Constantine.
Thank you. And it wasn't anything they applied. They put me literally in a neoprene mat wrap, like wearing a scuba suit over your face with a couple of holes, because what I served as my body served as the template against which they created a bunch of CGI. So when you see the film, it's like snakes and rats coming out of my face. I was just the template. That one I almost lost my mind.
Really?
I almost lost it because I was zipped in. And I remember I knew that if I had to get out quickly, I had to find someone to do it. I couldn't get out myself. And I felt a little scared. That's the first time I ever went like, I don't think I could do this anymore, So I salute all those guys that do that stuff.
Oh, for sure. I mentioned that you were a dancer. What kind of dance was that? Because I'm a dancer. What kind of dance?
Well, you are. So I always said, the division, when you go to an audition, this is the line for singers, this is the line for dancers, these are the line for dancers who sing, this is the line for actors. So I was the traditional actor who moves well.
Okay.
I did musical theater. I did a lot of dance in it, but I would never have called myself a dancer. Now, the show I'm doing now, it's going to be in Chicago. I do some dance, but it's pretty much free form, not choreography per se. And it's a lot of fun. But I pretty much sworn off dancing after a certain point because I don't know how it treated your body, but
I'm dying. I'm 42 and my body is in constant pain.
Right?
Yeah.
So at some point you say, I'm done.
Yeah.
And when I did this show, they said they took a survey of the cast because they wanted to know what everyone could do. And they said, scale of 1 to 10, tell us your dancing abilities. And I put 2 because I didn't want them to give me anything. And then eventually they started saying, but can you do this? And I went, all right. But this is going to be it. I ain't going to do it anymore. Do you dance still anymore? Do you still do anything? Or
sometimes I'll go and I'll take a class, a ballet class or a tap class, just to.
Oh, that's ballet. That would kill you. That's
hard. I miss it, but I don't. But I do. But I don't. And I do. It's a love-hate in my brain.
I get it.
And I'm old and fat, and my
no, you're not.
and my ankles hurt, and my hips hurt, and my back hurts, and I'm a waitress by trade now. I work at
you're on your feet.
I work at 3 different restaurants, and so I'm on my feet all the time, and I'm carrying things, and so my body hurts too. And I'm just like, I'm tired, but then I feel like just go and do it. You're going to have fun once you get there. Just leave. Just once you leave and put your clothes on and do it, it's going to be fine. And it is. So yeah, I'll take a class every month or so if I can. But I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's
used to
kind of
dance
a
all the time, and now I can't. I can only crawl into bed.
it's kind of a curse being a dancer because you hear the music and you want to move. You
Yeah.
just want to move. And then, like I'll come off stage sometimes and my wife will say, "What were you doing up there? Are you crazy?" And I go, I couldn't hold back. Once the music started, I just had to do my thing. I'm going to pay the price tonight. I know it. And it was only a week after we wrapped this last run at the Kirk Douglas. I said, I've stopped hurting a little bit. And I realized it was, and I'll do the same in Chicago. But I don't worry about hurting, being in pain. I worry about injury
Yeah.
because I don't care if I'm sore. That'll go away. But injury, knees, you understand.
I do. I
Um,
do. I was the opposite of you. I was a dancer who acted, right?
okay. Okay.
And a semi singer, not great.
Right.
But but I was always the strongest dancer in the musical
Great.
theater,
Great.
So
Great. Great.
I'm great in the chorus. Like, put me in the back. I'm good.
Well, you know that expression, are you good enough for the chorus?
Yeah.
Because those are the ones that really have to know their shit. Not only do they have to know how to pick up the choreography quickly, which I never could. They don't want to show it to you more than once.
Yeah.
But you also have to know how to pick up the music quickly. So you got to be good to be in the chorus. You got to be great.
And memorization was never my strong point, especially on lines. Like, I'm fairly confident I did have some sort of learning disability that was never diagnosed, but I would tape the first table read and then
Right.
listen to that over and
Right.
over again. And then I know everyone's lines, but that's reading it. I can't remember it. Listening to it on repeat, I'll remember everything.
Memorization is, people say, what is that like? And I say, truthfully, it's all work and no reward. There's no reward for memorization. It's just drudgery. It has to be done. It's part of the job. But there's nothing pleasurable about. The only thing pleasurable about it is when you've learned it and you can say, I know it. But the actual process, I freaking hate it. I think every actor does.
Do you ever remember the strangest things? Like, just, I used to work, my resume makes no sense. Like, my of all the jobs I've had, law firm, grocery store, Starbucks, wait, like, makes no sense. I've done everything, right? I used to work at a grocery store. I still remember produce codes.
I believe that. I believe that. Yeah.
I'm like, 4011, that's bananas.
I believe that you get the weirdest things stuck in your head.
So what's weird for you that sticks in your head, either professionally or just in life, that you just always remember, fall back on?
It's funny you should mention that. And I don't know a lot of them, but I'll just remember one thing. And this is the strangest thing. I have an exercise routine I do every day, which I've done for years. And it involves 3 basic things. One of them is push-ups, one of them is pull-ups with a strap, and the other is squats. Very simple routine. Did you ever see the movie $1 Million Baby? It's a Clint Eastwood film.
Yes.
The premise is he takes on this this woman to be a boxer, and he's an old curmudgeon-y guy, and he says that women don't box. And she starts to show some skill, and he actually takes her on, and she starts doing really well. And at some point in the film, it's very tragic. She falls backwards. He's hasn't taken the, when they go into the ring, they put the stool in for them to sit between rounds. Then when they go back in, they pull the stool out. So she goes in for the next round, and he hasn't got the stool out fast enough, and she trips and falls back and hits her neck and is paralyzed. Okay, tragic story. And every time I'm doing my push-ups, I turn around to grab the straps, and the push-up handles are still there behind me, and I think $1 Million Baby. I'm always scared I'm going to fall back and hit those damn things. This is weird. This is weird shit, Yeah. But I'm sure there's a bunch of other stuff. I'm obsessive in my thinking, and I'm sure there's lots of things I keep thinking about all the time. We're weird. Humans are weird.
Right. I was the personal assistant to this cranky old lawyer man once, long time ago.
Yeah.
But I gotta, he had the best attitude sometimes. He was disabled, and he got disabled from a piece of gym equipment that broke his back. And
That's
so
it.
he had a walker, and his hands didn't work, from the nerve damage. So he would auto dictate everything. And
Wow. Wow.
he was like, I was supposed to be a quadriplegic, and I'm able to move a little bit. And it's like, and it's because of a piece of faulty gym equipment that broke and threw him back, and he broke his back. And
That's the
so
thing, man.
it's crazy.
Any minute, any day, your life can change, you
I
know?
know.
Yeah,
I know.
every day. I mean, this is why, the old cliche, just enjoy your life, because,
Absolutely.
and be grateful because anytime, any minute. Now, I don't know if you're probably like me, when I get injured, and I did have an injury when we were doing the show in Philadelphia. I did something to my knee and I thought I'd torn something, but it turned
Mhm.
out not to be. But I was just depressed and freaked out for
Mm.
4 weeks because I thought I can't be limited. I'm so scared of
Mhm.
being limited because I want to do what I want to do. So for someone to adjust like that guy did, I can't imagine
Right.
how difficult that must be to accept your new reality.
I
Uh,
know. I mean, and that so I always told him, yeah, he was a real big asshole. But I always was inspired and still am when I think about him, about, how he just
yeah,
like, well, I guess this is what it is now,
yes,
you
that's it.
know.
And what are you going to do? Give up? You move forward. I wanted to mention something to you, because I'm an aches and pains person, because I do exert myself physically as you.
Mhm.
Over the years, I developed a technique which you may not be aware of. I have a Facebook page where it's called scanning, spelled SQA.
I gotta tell you, yeah,
Okay.
um, because I wanted to talk to you about this because
Yeah.
that helped some of us through the pandemic.
Really?
Because well, yeah,
Wow.
I would usually did it at around noon my time,
No kidding.
on live on Instagram, and I follow that
Wow.
page still, even though it hasn't posted to for a long
I
time.
post to Facebook now. I'm thinking of starting up the Instagram page
Yeah,
again, though. I just hadn't gotten to it, but I think I might start again because I
yeah.
think
So
more people watch Instagram than Facebook now.
nowadays, yeah. So I was working at the law firm at the time, so we were all work from home,
Yeah.
and the work from home was was horrible, and
Yeah.
and they fired half the staff because it was a work comp firm, so no one's going to work and no one's getting hurt. So
Right.
therefore, we went from having 6 attorneys to work for to like 16.
Wow.
And the workload was insane. And working from home was difficult anyway, because instead of having all your setup, you just had this little laptop and everything. But you would usually pop on live around noon my time, and you would host
Wow.
the guided meditation, is what I called it,
Right. Well, I'm so
and for like
surprised. That's so nice
30
to hear.
minutes. And
Wow. Yeah.
that's when I decided to take my break, was when I
Wonderful.
saw
I
the
wish I'd,
notification that scanning went live. And by
yeah.
the way, that's spelled what? SQANN.
SQANNING. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
If
thought
people
that the
didn't
biggest
follow
problem I have with it is I don't do a consistent time or day. I do it when I have a chance. So if I did, people would, like you did, know if I go at noon,
Mhm.
I'll be able to scan. So I was thinking of doing that. I've started saying to people now, if you want a private session, you contact me because I do want to reach more people. I just never wanted it to be like a thing. Like
Yeah.
I never wanted to make it like a thing where it's just something I love and I do, and I want to share it. But I'm trying to
Well,
figure out a way
you
to,
could also pre-record and
right.
then post it at a certain time. Um, but no, I would get the notification on my phone that
Wow.
scanning went live,
No
and
kidding.
uh-huh. And
Wow. So pleased.
I'd already been working for like 4 hours at the time, so I'm like, "Okay, it's time to scan now." So then
Wow. I'm
it's
so pleased.
time to scan with Larry, and then
Ah,
I had a couple of other, coworkers that were, also having a hard time with, just keeping up and worth the workload, and so then I would go and I'd tag them on the on the post as it was happening too.
I'm so
I'm like,
pleased.
"Do this
My
now, right
Yeah.
now."
Well,
And
that's
so,
my
yeah.
greatest joy is if I can think that I helped somebody relax or ease their pain. Physical, it's good for physical pain and mental, and as I always say, physical, emotional, and mental relief. That makes me very happy. I have to do it. I live by it. If I didn't, I couldn't survive. It brings that balance which I talk about, and I'm very aware more and more as I get older how unique all of us are. So everyone's out there giving advice, but basically the only thing that really is going to work for anyone is if it comes from you.
Mhm.
So I share it in the hopes that it might inspire something, but I know everyone's different and it's not going to be for everybody.
So
But I believe in it.
for the people that have no idea what the hell we're talking about right now, because you just kind of jumped in,
Sure.
tell the people what is scanning? Scanning for
Okay.
dummies.
So it's a concept, and there's a million kinds of meditation out there, but this is different. It's a concept, and the simple concept is this: we live on a continuum of contraction and expansion. Everything in the world expands or contracts, and we tend to become overly contracted, which leads to pain, discomfort, confusion, tension, resistance. When we're expanded, we're open, we're available, we're relaxed, we're calm, we're at peace. So that's the continuum, and we vacillate between the two. And so if you want to bring your life into balance, because you can't live in one or the other, we vacillate, we work hard, then we relax. You have to probably learn how to relax, because we naturally spend most of our day contracting. It's working, thinking, talking, building, stressing, fretting. Expansion is letting go, letting go, letting go. So I developed a technique which would bring you into a more expanded state and ultimately into a state of balance, which is the middle. And the difference between this and most self-help or meditative forms is it's strictly a physical technique. There's no mental ideas, there's no mantras, there's no words or sentences or thoughts. You're strictly working on the incremental release of muscular tension. And you start by familiarizing yourself with what that feels like by squeezing your hands together and 3, 2, 1, releasing. That was contraction, this is expansion. And you note, how did that feel? Then you start to induce that small incremental muscular release to different areas of your body. And very important, it is a cumulative thing. The longer you do it, no matter how small that release, the more of an expanded state you move into. You can't contract and expand at the same time. So if you begin to expand, it brings you into a deeply relaxed state, both physically, emotionally, and mentally. When you have expanded successfully, you feel neutral. You feel nothing. You don't feel, your body feels neutral. Your mind is quiet. Your breathing is still and steady. You don't have any thoughts. You're just in a place of nothingness. And it's very calming. It's very physically relaxing. It heals your body. It allows your body to reset. If you have muscle aches or pains, a lot of pain comes from just holding. That's
Yeah,
a contraction. So when your
mine was
body
in
is relaxed,
my jaw and my mouth. I noticed, like, when I got
yes,
off of that law firm
yes,
job, I'm like, why does my face hurt? And
right.
I was
That's right.
locked up at my desk like this all day long, just
Right. Now, the problem, the big challenge in scanning, because I always say to people, you can learn it in 5 seconds, but it takes a lifetime to master, is we are habitually conditioned to go to a contracted place to solve our problems.
Mhm.
We think, we tense up. We've been conditioned to believe that's the way out of trouble. So you're literally, depending on how old you are or how contracted you are, you're reconditioning yourself to believe that when I'm worried, the better choice is to relax. It's very counterintuitive. We want to grab, hold, think, worry, tense up. But if you can begin to train yourself that whenever you start to have a concern or worry, instead of contracting, I'm going to expand through the incremental release of muscular tension, 3, 2, 1, release. And I'm going to spend 5, 10, 15 minutes doing that. You actually have a better chance of facing that challenge, and you will feel better. But it's a life. I've been doing this. I've been scanning for probably 10 years. And I'm still up against my own nature, my own contractive nature. It's a bit of a war, but I've gotten better at it. And now what I've learned is it really is the better choice than contracting. So
Mhm.
even if I feel like contracting, I go, but I know better. So I will spend some time. So you have to put in the time to get the results, but it's been very successful for me. And I'm very happy to hear that you benefited from it, and anyone else.
Yeah, and it allows you, for me, it just find the stillness that we're also busy on the go, 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 go
Mm-hmm.
to do, or do it before bed. Like, can't sleep in bed,
I'm
you
so
know?
happy that it works for you. I really am, because I truly believe. And as I get older, you start to think about, what do I want to do with the rest of my life? And I go, well, I would love to explore this even more and share it even more, because I look at the world, and without being too broad about it, I say what you're looking at, the wars, the politics, is a highly contracted state in the world. Everyone's taken a position and is holding it.
Mhm.
And as you've seen in the sessions, when you have two contracted people come together, they conflict. When you expand, you can work together. So if there's anything I could contribute, I would like to encourage people to scan more. I think, I don't know what I can do, but that would be my contribution. So I'm
Oh,
really pleased to hear that you found it useful. Thank you.
yeah, well, thank you for providing that tool, when
Absolutely.
we're all, um, stuck at home. Now for me, stuck at home was fine. Like I'm tired. I don't like putting on clothes. Pants optional workday was like the best, right?
Yep. Yep.
Um, but a lot of people I know are having a real struggle with that. Like my
Yep.
personal life didn't change. I never went out, so I was doing less conventions. That was it. But my professional life changed. I had less jobs, and so financially it was tough. But yeah, no. But like when people who are like really, really at strife with this new lifestyle that they had to adapt to, I think something like that is very useful, and you provided that tool.
Thank you.
Whether people
I
found it or
say,
not, I think the people who were meant to find it at the time found it.
yeah, because when I scan, I always reflect on how my process is going, I believe now, I truly believe that scanning will not change any of your circumstances, but it will definitely allow you to more easily and successfully navigate your challenges. I don't think there's a thing in the world that can't be helped by relaxing. You just deal with things much better. Everything is better, as I said, when you can integrate with things as opposed to coming up against things. When you come into a situation that's difficult, if you can find a way to navigate it as opposed to hitting it, it will just go easier. So I'm very committed to this philosophy now. Like I always say, I'll never write a book about it. I thought about trademarking, and I thought I don't want to go down that road because it can be called anything. But if I'm hearing from people that it's working for them, it makes me very happy because I think it's a truth I've stumbled upon by accident that I think could help. So that's kind of where I'm at. So
How did you come up with the name?
scanning. Well,
Spelled with the SQ
SQ.
and no U. I mean, how did you
Yeah.
come up with this name?
The concept is you've tried the technique. You move through the body. You basically scan the body for pockets of muscular tension. You're like an explorer. And you said, there's a pocket of tension there. I'm going to let that go. There's a pocket of tension. So you're scanning your body looking for where can I release? Can I release in my neck? 1%? I just did it. 1%. Not a big incremental, but I expand. So scanning. But when you just say scanning, it can mean a million things. It can mean an MRI. It can mean scanning a document. So I just gave it something so it would be different. That's all. It's funny. It's hard for people to remember. So sometimes I think I made a mistake because they go, how do you spell it? But it's on the website. By the way, there's a Facebook page, a scanning Facebook page that always has my most recent sessions. So if you want the most recent sessions, but I will say every session is virtually identical with maybe a few insights, but it's designed specifically to be consistent so that people will learn it and they'll always know this is what I'm doing. It's not changing. There's no updates. There's no scanning 2.0. It's the same thing every time intentionally. So it will be very simple to learn and to reference. Any of these videos will teach you the same exact thing.
Exactly.
So that's it. Yeah.
And so the Facebook page is just called Scanning.
Yeah, if you do a search for scanning, SQANNING, that page will come up and it'll have my most recent sessions. I usually do it. I leave it on my personal page for a while. Then I put it on the Facebook page and I delete it off my personal page. But it's always there. There's also a YouTube page, scanning YouTube page, but not many people go to that.
The YouTube algorithm is tough. Tough to get seen. So it's tough to get seen on YouTube. It's
for those who are coming after me. It's beyond me, all that stuff. But you're dealing with that. You're with a podcast. You're trying to get views, so you're much more aware of that.
Yeah, I've gotten to a point now where on YouTube, at least, I'll get 10 new subscribers a week which is great because then it's consistent. It's consistent 10. After I do a con, it's normally a little bit more because I'm exposed out there, right? And then Instagram, slow growth as well. But it's about like consistency and it's can be tedious and really boring and really annoying. And I was posting to something. I was out with a friend. And I was just posting a picture of where we were. And he's like, "You Instagramming?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "What are you putting up?" I said, "I'm just putting up this picture." I'm like, "I'm really bored of this." It's so really much bored right now. So I'm like, I'm just going to post this real quick and then I'm all yours. But I'm like, I'm really bored. Now my Facebook is just for friends, and I'm really choosy about who I let into my Facebook life, right? So congratulations, you made the cut. But
Thank
I'm
you.
usually really picky. I don't, I mean, about who, because that's my personal circle. That's my
Sure,
space. That that is, those are my friends or people I want to
sure.
be friends with, or people I want to be keep in touch with. Or Instagram, it's just some are friends, but also a lot of people following you that maybe I don't really want to have any association with.
Right.
You know,
But you do these conventions. That's how you do interviews and things
thank
like
you.
that. So you're considered somewhat of an expert, really, in the area.
Try. I'm
Yeah,
learning as I go. You know,
yeah.
it's not easy, and they keep changing the rules on algorithms. It changes all the time. So I just quit worrying about that, and I just post what I post.
Yeah, that's
And
good.
what happens happens, and I have faith that the people who are the right people who want to find my content, my material, will
Mhm.
find it, and that's fine. I'm not trying to be famous. Um, I mean,
What a world. What
it
a
would be
competitive world
it
it
would
is.
be great if I could
Yeah,
quit my jobs and make money from this, but
yeah.
realistically, probably not going to happen. But I'm still going to keep doing it just for the funsies of
You
it.
never know.
You
You
never
never
know.
know.
I'm still going to do it just for the fun of it.
Yeah, I mean, something goes viral for some reason or
Right.
another. That could be it. You know.
Right. I have had a few things go like semi-viral, and I don't remember what they were now, but I'm like, holy cow, like 10,000 views in like a day. I'm like, for me, that's viral. Okay, leave me alone. I know that's not, but leave me alone. You
Are
know,
you on? Are you on TikTok also?
God, kind of, yes, but no. I am. I barely post. I
It's like a full-time job
I
being
I, I
on these
opened
things. I
it.
mean,
I opened it in 2020 when it was trendy, and I've posted a handful of times. I'll mainly post movie clips to
sure,
it,
sure.
because I'm not a real good content creator as far as that goes, right? It's
Right,
not
right.
I'm not as clever as some of these amazing content creators who put out. I'm so bad at it.
Mhm.
I'm very
It's
rarely
just
on
like I said,
it,
it's a full-time job. I
so I
mean,
can't really
I was
say
on
I'm
it briefly because they had some stuff about the Obama musical, and they were saying, "Go take a look at it." I looked at it, and then while I was there, I looked at some other stuff, and I went, "What is going on here?" It's just like everything's like these short little clips.
Mhm.
Some are very funny, some of them are really stupid. And I thought, how much time are people putting into this?
So
I got to say, garbage. I mean, a lot of
yeah,
it's just nothing.
yeah.
But I guess a lot of people, and they're making money. So
You know,
you know,
there's a few that I really enjoy, like me
yeah.
working in the restaurant industry on and off for the last 25 years,
Mhm.
or customer service in general. Uh, there is one called Bistro Huddy I really enjoy, and he's such a talented actor. His name's Drew Talbert. He's an
Mhm.
amazing actor. He tried to be an actor in LA for years and years, and
I got to write this down. Drew
yeah, I'll send you a
Talbert.
link. Um,
Okay.
and he worked in restaurants, obviously, and he has all these characters and he plays them all himself. And if you've ever worked in restaurants or customer service, you can so relate. And they're funny, and he's awesome. And he found his niche, and then we all followed him, and now that's how he's able to make his living. Because yes,
Drew
oh my gosh,
Talbert.
he's so funny, and especially
I got to see. Is he on?
yeah, a little
There he is.
bit. He did an indie horror film. He did an indie horror film that was hilarious. I forgot what it was called. He just had a small part. He opened the movie, and his name was Doug, not D-O-U-G, but
Yeah.
D-U-G. You know, and he's just such a talented individual. So I think TikTok and stuff, it has helped creatives and actors
Sure.
get exposure where they weren't able to get into a room necessarily before, either because they didn't look right for the time or
Yeah.
whatever the reason is, right? Because who knows why people get cast in things and who's successful and who's not, when everyone can be equally as talented. It's just
Oh, it's ridiculous.
it's a
The odds are so long. You just reminded me of something that you would probably know. You talk about things you always remember that stick in your mind. I was watching some video once, and there was a compilation of they're called cut slides. Do you know what a cut slide is?
no.
It's when there's a crowd, and the horror aspect of it is the bad person has this wire, this very sharp wire that is set on a spring. And when it's released, it just slices everyone there in half.
Oh yeah.
And then so you see them, and they all got hit, and they're all looking at each other, and then they're cut at an angle, and their top
Yeah.
half of their body just slides off. It's called a cut
Seen that
slide.
a couple of times.
I had never heard of it, and I thought, what is this? It was so weird that it was so horrific. I had to watch, and I thought that's the kind of thing that you
Yeah.
know, in horror
Yeah.
films.
Exactly.
Crazy.
And one of the movies we reviewed had one of those. It was The Collector. I think Ghost Ship did it too. But there's a
I
couple of
wonder,
movies that did
those
that.
sound familiar, actually. Those sound
Yeah,
familiar.
the Collector did it, and that was, I think it might have been my favorite kill. But there's so many good creative kills out there, right? And then moving on, we break down the actors and their credits and what else they've done, and that normally leads into a whole new conversation about maybe this actor.
Yeah.
It's some really fun conversations, and then we go to cinematography. Ooh,
Yeah.
this shot was really amazing, and then special effects, and what else? There's a few more topics too, and then at the end, fun facts, which I
That's the
mean,
trivia. That's the part I like. I
yes,
like the fun facts, like behind the scenes stuff. Did you happen to see a
probably
movie that
fun
they,
facts. It's because
what?
the internet is not always the truth.
That's
So I'm
true.
like, according to the internet, it says
Yes.
this.
Did you ever see a film I did called Would You Rather?
Yes.
You did. So that was a guy named Zach Kilberg, who was an actor. I did a movie called Midnight Sun, a very good movie. I don't know if you've ever seen that. SON. Have you seen that movie?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I highly
Seen the
recommend it.
Midnighters, but not Midnight Sun.
No, Midnight Sun. Zach was it was written and directed by Scott LeBericht, produced by Matt Compton, and starring Zach Kilberg and Maya Parrish. I love this movie. It's so good. It's a great vampire film. It's low
Okay.
budget, very heartfelt. Midnight Sun, SON. It got like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, but it's
Wow.
hardly anybody seen it. But you can download it all different places. Anyways, Zach went on to be a producer. He quit acting and went on to be a producer, and he did this film, Would You Rather? And he said, Larry, I'd like to cast you in it, but they're getting a name, which is frequently happens. They're saying, we're going to get a name for the lead guy. I said, I understand. He said, but I want to give you something. So he said, how would you feel about being the driver? There's a guy that picks up this girl and they take her to this place where she undergoes this series of tests by this evil guy. Would you rather do this? Would you rather have us cut your eye? Or would you rather have us do something? These horrible choices.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, I take her home. If you'll do this, she will give you $200,000.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a good, creepy film. But there's a case where I wanted to work for the guy. I like him. He was my friend. I said, I'll do whatever. And I showed up and I drove for a couple of days,
Amazing.
But Midnight Sun, Zach Kilberg, Maya Parrish, great performances. Scary, bloody. I die in a pile of blood. Very good film. Highly recommend.
Fantastic. But you are going to be in Chicago for a month or so.
Yes, correct.
Doing 44, the musical, playing Mitch McConnell. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, let's talk about this. So this is going to be at the Studebaker Theater at 410 South Michigan Avenue, August 23rd through September 21st is what I have.
That's right. That's
right. Tell me
Yes.
about your experiences on this. What is this about? I mean, obviously, most of us, we can guess what it's about, but give us details and your experiences and why people should come see the show.
Okay, so we had our first stage reading of the show 4 years ago. It's hard to believe it's been that long. I think it was in 2021. It was right in the middle of the pandemic.
Wow.
And they said, this casting director I know called me and said, there's a show. It's about Obama. I'll just tell you, one of the songs is called Fuck You, Ted Cruz. It's really bawdy and subversive. And there's some rap and there's some R&B. And I said, sure, I do a lot of stage readings. So we did 3 stage readings. Then we did an actual performance of it at the Bourbon Room in Hollywood. Then we did a couple more there. Then we started moving around the country. We went to Chicago. We went to New York. We went to Philadelphia. Then we came back here and we just finished 12 weeks total, a 1 month run and a 2 month run. And it's sold out, completely sold out. And it's changed a lot. It's evolved. It's a really entertaining, fun show. It's kind of like a love story and a fairy tale about that time of hope and change. Yeah. I play Mitch McConnell, Obama's evil nemesis. And it's a lot of fun. We love each other to death. The cast is very close, extremely talented. The woman that plays Michelle is a woman named Shanice, who wrote the song I Love Your Smile. So she's got a great voice. And like I said, we've been selling out completely. And everyone who comes has a really good time. It's very funny. The music is great. And I don't know how much longer it's going to go, but we're hoping it goes to New York after Chicago. I do a rap song called Filibuster. And every step of the way, I try to trip up Obama. But of course, he wins in the end and we're all defeated and he has his great victory and everyone's happy. It's a show about a time when there was a lot of hope, a lot of happiness, a lot of excitement. And it's just turned into quite quite a show. And I hope you'll come, like I said, to the Studebaker Theater and just enjoy yourself. It's just there's a lot of laughter. The audience is encouraged to sing along or yell stuff out to us. It's very audience participatory. They boo me, they cheer. It's just a lot of fun. So I highly recommend.
Looking at your cast list, you have 2 cast members named Summer too in there, so gotta go see.
Oh yeah, that's right. We had Summer. Who's the new Summer? Summer Greer she plays the voice of America, incredible voice. And then the other Summer replaced someone else who plays Sarah Palin. She's fantastic. What else did I want to tell you about the show? Oh yeah, if you want to know more about the show, go to 44obamamusical.com. All one word, 44obamamusical.com. There's lots of clips from the show. You can listen to the entire sound score, all the songs you can listen to. You can see a lot of photos from the show and give you a sense of the feel for it. And then, of course, they're on Instagram, 44 Obama Musical, and I think they're on Facebook as well. So you can learn a lot about the show just online. Yeah. But coming and seeing it live is the best because, like I said, it's very interactive. We have a lot of fun with the audience, and it's just a great time. And we're really looking forward to come back to Chicago because it's Obama's hometown,
Yeah.
So.
And it's starting to sell really well. I was looking at tickets a week ago, and I looked at tickets this morning, and there's so many seats sold already, and it's not even here yet. And it's so exciting. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I'm trying to figure out which day I'm going to go, because I'm going to request off. So I normally when I go to see a show, I decide day of, okay, I have the day off, I'm going to go see a show. But this one I got to plan ahead because they're selling. You got to.
Well, what happened last time was it's typical. Up to about a week or two before the show, sales are good. Then we get a week in, 2 weeks in, and then boom, the rest of the show sells out because word of mouth. So yeah, get your tickets early. And I don't know if you contact them, say your press. They might either give you better seats or a better price or maybe even a comp. I don't know.
I have no problem paying and supporting the artist and the shows. I don't mind. I do not. That's something I will spend my money on because especially a small little show that's not like a big Broadway tour, right? Because it's important, as you know. You gotta support the arts and the actors. I got no.
Well, that's nice of you. That's wonderful, and we definitely appreciate it. You can imagine the first couple of years of the show, they were in the red because they were putting a lot of money out, not getting a lot of money back. Then we hit LA and it just went crazy. And so they're getting back to where, they're actually making some money. So I'm happy for them.
Okay. So to wrap this up.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing all that, by the way. And I can't wait to see it and see you in person, perform in person. What? Someone I'd love to when I was a child. What? I'm so excited.
Oh, it's going to be great to have you there. Great.
I'm so excited. So to wrap this up, this is something I started doing with my interviews because it keeps it like fun and fresh. We're going to the Delve Deck.
The Delve Deck?
The Delve Deck.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a deck of cards of questions, random questions, right?
Yes.
I got this at boardwalk.com, BORED walk.com. Not a sponsor, but I love their company. They're a really amazing company. And so
write it down.
Go to support small independent companies. Anyways, so this is the joy edition because you seem like a joyful person. There's a grievance edition too, or you've been bent. You're like, I hate this about this, right?
Yeah.
So I got this. I'm going to shuffle the cards. I'm going to ask you a question. Whatever
I draw. I'm ready.
And I'm a big believer of whatever is supposed to happen is going to happen. So we're shuffling.
It's like tarot cards.
Yes, exactly. So our question is, what minor victory have you recently experienced?
Minor victory. Oh, God.
Personal minor victory have you recently experienced?
I'm a big fan of victories. Something just happened. It's coming to me. Something just happened. Oh, shoot. Believe me, these days, everything's a struggle. So when you have a minor victory, you're happy. You're happy. Oh, gosh. At a personal level, on a career level.
Whatever level you want. Waking up in the morning could be a victory for some people.
Well, I will tell you, because we talked about scanning. And I think you can relate to this. There are times in the day when you go to very dark places. Mm-hmm. And you just don't know how you're going to get out of it. And you don't even feel like you can put one foot in front of the other. There's just days like that or nights like that. And I have put a lot of energy into the scanning thing lately. I really believe in it. And sometimes I don't think it's going to work. And when I'm having a really bad night or time and I do it and I come out of it and I go like, all the darkness has gone away and the world looks clear. It's such a victory for me because I feel like if I can manage my own brain, then I always say that in the sessions, you don't have to be afraid because no matter how dark it gets, you have a way, you have a technique, you have a tool. So I think recently that happened to me. I think certain circumstances, certainly with the world or family, whatever happened, I thought I can't get out of this. And I'm completely convinced that if you can go to an expanded place muscularly and mentally, all of that just floats away and you're left in a moment of calm and clarity. And I think that happened to me this week, I'm sure. And I felt a victory. I felt it wasn't a minor victory. It was a major victory.
Yeah.
So it gives me hope for the future because you know the challenges you face and I face in the entertainment business, just trying to survive. There's times when you go, how am I going to do this? How am I going to survive this mentally? Because once your mind goes and you give up, you're done. You have to always come to every day with hope and looking for opportunities and believing in yourself. And if you get yourself back to that place where you feel hopeful again, that's a major victory. So I think it would have to be that.
That's a great answer. See, the right question for the right person came out.
All right.
So boardwalk.com to get your own delve deck. They got
I wrote it down.
Boardwalk.com. They also got fun T-shirts. They've got journals. They got all sorts of stuff. But it's a very progressive, independent company that I believe in their values, so I support them any way I can.
Fantastic. I want to mention one more thing. This is a big part of my life, which if people are interested, they might follow. I've done a series of one-man shows based on adaptations from literature of writers I like. And I've done Dostoevsky, Tolstoy, Orwell, and Kafka. And there are 5 or 6 pieces I've shot and filmed and put them on my website, larrycedar.com. If you're interested in that sort of thing, I'm very proud of it. And it's something I hope in the future I'll be able to do on a larger scale. But you talk about memorization. One of the shows is an hour and a half. One is an hour.
Oh.
It's been very gratifying. And if you're at all interested in literature, the most popular one I've done is Notes from the Underground by Dostoevsky. It's had like 50,000 views. If you want to check that out, I recommend it. And I'd be happy to know people are looking at it. That's on YouTube. And that's all I want to say.
Where can people find you?
LarryCedar.com on Facebook, just Facebook/Larry Cedar. Instagram, Larry Cedar Actor. I don't do much on Twitter. Scanning. But you could start on Facebook or my website, LarryCedar.com. That's it. So.
And Larry Cedar is always working, so you're going to find him somewhere, either popping up on your screen or in your town in a show, apparently, right?
I try. I want to survive.
you're always out there, and like I said, your IMDb is like massive, insane, and that's a victory. Right.
I always say, people say, how do you have so many credits? I go, well, I'm old, after so many years,
You're old and fortunate enough to work.
Yeah. Right? I've been very lucky. Very lucky.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time, Larry. I really
this has been great. You're fantastic.
Really appreciate all that you've given. You've given above and beyond today. And thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. See you next time, folks. Bye.
Bye.